Hey guys, how y'all doing? I hope everything is well. Everything is good with me. Y'all, I wanted to tell a story about a young lady. She was in a domestic violence situation where her husband was like, hurting her. And I guess she was going to court, you know, to get an order of protection or something. I really don't know. I didn't see the whole thing. We're going to read this together so we could both be shocked. But um, something went left. I see just a snippet of it, and it just went left, and it's sad. So we're gonna get into this here. We're gonna read it. It says Spalding County Sheriff defends deputies after woman killed in front of the courthouse. Spalding Spalding County Sheriff Darrell Dix had issued a statement addressing allegations misinformation surrounding the tragic death of Mrs. Molly, who was reportedly shot and killed by her husband outside the Spalding County Courthouse Friday. They said she was at the courthouse now. So she was scared. Like I said, I just listened to like a little bit. They said like she was scared. So let me just finish reading it because it gets crazy. Okay. In a Facebook post, Sheriff Dix clarified that circumstances of events started that rumors suggested Mrs. Molly requested an escort from a deputy has been false. Okay, so what he's saying is, when she was at the courthouse, she had asked for an escort to her car. But they're trying to say, like, she didn't say who she wanted to escort her. That's what they're trying to say. But, I'm going to be real with you. Like, I don't know what type of game they're playing, but if I'm afraid of, my significant other and that he's going to harm me in any type of way, who else is going to escort me? The clerk? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, words, like, they just trying to, like, let me finish, y'all. Okay. According to Dix, a clerk in the magistrate office was asked about an escort, not a deputy. And surveillance footage showed Miss Molly walking through the courthouse lobby without requested assistance. But I'm saying, like, if she requested inside there, why does she have to walk down the so she should be walking, going, I need somebody to walk. I need somebody. She asked already. She's saying it. She asked for an escort. You know what I'm saying? And she had asked the clerk, to. She didn't say to the clerk, can you walk me to my car? She asked the clerk that she needed an escort to her car. You understand? So I guess to me, I'm going to be real. If I was in that situation, God forbid, that I would want it to be a police officer to escort me. You know what I'm saying? Because they have a pow-pow. You understand? In case my boy ready to do me in or whatever. I don't think she wanted the clerk to walk her, I'm just saying, that's just me, you know what I'm saying? Okay. She then exited the courthouse, entering the car, and was shot by her husband, who pulled up beside her and fired multiple rounds through the passenger window before fleeing the scene. Deputies responded immediately upon hearing the gunshots. But by the time Miss Molly had already driven away, Mr. Molly had already driven away, he later shot himself. But guess what? He survived. See, God don't like ugly. Sheriff Dix acknowledged the troubled history between the Mollys, starting that deputies had respond to multiple calls at the residence. However, he noted that in most cases, witnesses were either uncooperative or both parties admitted neutral, like neutral participant in the fight, preventing deputies from determining primary aggressor as required by Georgia law. So what he's saying is that I know y'all. I'm saying what he's saying. I know y'all know. Like when he comes to the house, neither or would say, well, I did smack her. And she wouldn't say, well, I did smack him. You know what I'm saying? So they basically didn't know which one to, arrest. But I'm just saying, like, she's a woman, and you said you've been to the house a lot of times for domestic violence. So you know that the woman was scared. Like here in New York, if domestic violence go down here, right, here, the police, if they see any type of marks or whatever, they're taking you in. They're taking whoever, you or the female or the male, you going down because they see with their own eyes. They've been stopped that because a lot of women in that situation, which I was in the type of situation, you get afraid. You know what I'm saying? Like you get scared, and you be scared to tell on the man. You know what I'm saying? Or opposite, the man don't want to tell on the woman. But a lot of women would freeze up and don't tell, which is bad. You know what I'm saying? That is really, really bad because the outcome, could be something like this. But what this story is about is if she asks for someone to walk with her to her car because she knew she was in danger. So this is what basically the story is about. If she asks anybody, and they're trying to say she never asked for a deputy, she just asked for an escort. Let me finish reading. Sheriff Dix also claimed that deputies failed to act. They was hesitant that his office provided both parties with resources for help and counseling. He noted that on one occasion, Mr. Molly had been arrested but later posted bond. Sheriff Dix acknowledged the emotional nature of the situation and the strong feeling from both sides of the family involved. He stressed that the role of the law enforcement is to act based on facts and evidence, not public opinion. Dix added that the same deputy accused of failing to protect Mrs. Molly was the one who tried to save her life after the shooting. Yeah, okay, I get it. But I hear what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? So, right there, let me go back just a bit, okay? Because he just said it out his mouth. Based on facts, evidence, not public opinion. Dix added the same deputy accused of failing to protect Mrs. Molly was the one that tried to save her. So if she never asked for a deputy, how did this deputy come in here in this situation? She said, he said he the one that tried to save her life after the shooting. He concluded by calling for improvement to the current family violence law, suggesting that it might have been a failure of law enforcement, but rather limitations of the law itself. Sheriff Dick's statement on Facebook wasn't well received by many. Yeah, because what you're saying is a little fuzzy. You know what I'm saying? Because he said himself, I just read it to you, that the deputy that supposed to have escorted her to the car is the one that tried to save her life. But how did he come involved? How did you know she's gone? How did you know it was him? You know what I'm saying? How did you know it was him when she's gone? You feel me? How? Okay. Okay. Highly unprofessional, inappropriate, distasteful, sickening, unsensitive, and disrespectful, and accusing the sheriff of victim blaming. People are also questioning the safety of the citizens of Spalding County. If someone could be offed in broad daylight in front of the courthouse, and said the sheriff needs to resign. Police also questioned if it was legal for the sheriff to reveal so much about the history of the victims and the man who reportedly killed her before shooting himself. There are some, however, who expressed their appreciation for the sheriff's office and Sheriff Dick's clarification of what transpired and trans you know to be how you say it yes transpired of his office. According to the post on Facebook by the victim's daughter, a gathering is planned for 10 a.m. Wednesday at the courthouse to demand justice for her mom. This is her mother. Her name is Crystal Eve. That's her mom. But, I'm just saying, like, it's a little weird, for him to say the same deputy that they had said that supposed to had escorted her is the one that tried to save her life. But where did you get that from? Like, how did you know that that deputy was the one that supposed to had escorted her? Because she was by herself. So who told you that? How did they pick him out of all the deputies that work there? You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, y'all, her name is Justice for Crystal Evans. My heart goes out to the family. That this is tragic, and domestic violence is tragic, and if anybody is in that situation, you know what I'm saying, like, you have to tell. You can't just say, well, I'm going to give this person another chance and another chance and another chance, because some situations like this, men or women sometimes can't let go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was so strong that after he offed her, he tried to off himself, but he's still here. You understand what I'm saying? So that, that's kind of crazy. That's crazy. But I just need people to know, like, if you're in that situation, you need to get out, and it's very hard to get out, I know. But you have to have a paper trail. That's why when you go, you call the police, you get a docket number, they give to you, and you write it down or keep it. You know what I'm saying? So it can follow. But when somebody like Mr. Molly, his state of mind, his state of mind, he already had, concluded that this is what he was going to do. Even if he probably would have had to get her while she was in the house by herself or whatever, watch her get into the car going to work or anything, he already had made up his mind. But for her to, I'm just saying, allegedly, for her to be in a courthouse and you shaking like that. Like, you know, I'm just saying this here. I'm not trying to, like, you know, be funny. Like, I was in a situation like that, and I was in the court. Not in a, it's a courthouse, but it's something different a little bit. And the person that hurt me, I actually they told me, they said we have to let him go. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to let him go. And I passed out. Like, I literally passed out because I knew, like, I felt like I'm gonna you're killing. Like, I felt, how can I express it? Like, I felt like when they had came and told me that they was gonna let him out, I felt like,
picture this.
Sorry. I just felt like, oh my God, y'all throwing me to this guy. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. Like, I'm not gonna be here tomorrow. Like, for real, for real. And thank God, you know, God is good. You know, that this female officer, she was a detective, and she saw, like, when I, like, passed out and I got up, and she was just like, you know what? The men was saying they was gonna let him go, and actually he was down the hall. I seen him, and she was not having it. She ran to him and put handcuffs on him. She said, "No, you're not going." Like, for real, I can't explain it, but this is what happened. She actually locked him back up, you know, like, because she knew, like, it had to be so serious for a person to, like, you know, when you're in the, you know, you're asking people, like, can you want me some of my car? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is broad daylight. Like, can you want me some of my car? You know, and my situation was like, you know, I passed out. You know, you so scared that it make you weak. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you have to report it. You have to, like, you know, tell. You can't think about the other person. You got to think about yourself. You know, if you want to be here, you have to think about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So this story is really, really heartbreaking. I'm so sorry to her mother. This had to happen to her family, period. That it had to happen to her. And, you know, in this manner. You know what I'm saying? In this manner where you thought, you know, you can get help. You're at the courthouse. Y'all, okay, y'all. I'm going to just show you a snippet of a tape, and that's it. But y'all, anyway, hit that like button and subscribe. And I talk to y'all. Peace.
At 11, we're hearing from the family of a woman shot and killed outside of the Spalding County Courthouse. And tonight, the daughter of Crystal Evans says her mother did not have to die because she believes law enforcement actually dropped the ball because of a history of domestic violence between her mother and the suspect. 11 Live, Teresa Bowles, live tonight in the newsroom with what we know tonight. Teresa?
Well, Ron, tonight authorities have identified the suspect as Mr. Tom Mallory. Adding to her pain, Precious Evans tells me Mallory is her biological father.
I mean, I feel like I don't have nobody.
Precious Evans says she lost both of her parents at the same time.
I don't have nobody to, like, lean on.
She says she watched her comforter, her mother, Crystal Evans, go through an ugly divorce with her father for a year.
She was so happy after her divorce. She felt free. You know, we were even talking about doing a party.
However, throughout that year, she also says she witnessed disturbing behavior. Crystal posts a cry for help on Facebook last year saying, "Please know if something happens to me, Tom Mallory did it."
Even after the divorce, this man literally texted her, "Not happening."
Precious says her mother was at the Spalding County Courthouse for a hearing connected to their separation Friday afternoon.
The judge did issue a warrant. Instead of the judge taking him in right then and there, the judge said that he could turn himself in Monday night.
In a lengthy Facebook post, Sheriff Daryl Dix says Crystal walked out of the courthouse to her car where Mallory met her, shooting her multiple times from the window. Mallory did not stop for police and eventually shot himself. He's alive, but Evans is not, which Precious believes could have been prevented.
My mom literally called the sheriff department the day before because he was stalking her, and they did nothing. Had they had someone walked out with her, like, you know, her friend asked, she would still be here.
Dix denies this. He says surveillance video shows Crystal never asked for an escort. His office also confirms there have been several domestic violence calls to the Mallory household. Dix says sometimes the violence was mutual and there were no witnesses to identify the aggressor. Dix says, quote, "Do improvements need to be made to the law? Yes, they do. Maybe it wasn't a deputy or my agency that failed. Maybe it was the law itself. And since she can't get her mom back, Precious will honor her life by fighting for justice with no sympathy for her father."
Not once did you offer your condolences, sympathy, or anything for my mom. That post was to clean his face, to clear his name.
Precious says she's going back to the courthouse to rally for justice Wednesday and plans to hold a vigil for her mother on Thursday.
Yeah, such a hard